in the great outdoors can be very freeing and empowering on so many levels, and our next guest knows that very well. That's why a few years ago, he launched Venture Out, an organization that brings together the queer and transgender community for backpacking and wilderness adventures. Today, as part of Transgender Awareness Week, we are celebrating him for being a rad human. Gender identity early in life, right?
Yeah, I mean, I was certain I was a little boy and that puberty was when that was all going to come together for me, but turns out it didn't. It went the opposite direction of what I wanted.
I can't even imagine what that must feel like. There's already so much on your plate growing up, you know?
Yeah,
like,
it's pretty wild, and all of a sudden your body changes in ways that you don't want it to or expect it to.
Absolutely.
And speaking of, then I decided I wanted kids. I've always wanted kids. And so I got pregnant, and kind of an overachiever, so instead of just one, I got pregnant with two.
Sure.
So that was
they can play together, that's what I did.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I felt like Sigourney Weaver, an alien, like I was just a host of these bodies. But I was...
So did I.
Yeah.
I did not enjoy that experience.
Yeah, great. I'm so glad to hear that.
No, because people are always like, you feel magical. Shut up. No, you don't.
Yeah, no,
not,
you don't.
Not all of us. It was hell.
Yeah, I couldn't tie my shoes
I
anymore.
love my children, but I will never do it again. Yeah. No, that could be a whole different episode. So tell us more about what Venture Out does.
Yeah, so Venture Out, we're in our 11th season, and we lead backpacking and outdoor adventure trips for the queer and trans community.
Yeah.
So we do multi-day trips, and then we also have a national network of volunteers who lead day events. And I think a story encapsulates what Venture Out is best. And so about 8 years ago, we had a trip of all trans men, a ski trip, and this guy came up to me and he said, you know, Perry, I am out to only 2 people in the world as trans because I've been so ashamed of what being trans is, and I thought I couldn't fall in love, and I couldn't have a job, and I couldn't live a life if people knew I was trans.
Felt limited, yeah.
Felt super limited.
Yeah.
And scared. And then he said, and I've seen 9 other trans men living their joy. And he said, and it was really inspiring.
The possibility.
To me. Yeah.
Yeah.
He said, so I'm going to go home and throw myself a coming out party. So he called me a couple weeks later, and he's like, I just came out to all my friends, and they embraced me, and they loved me. And then what's really cool is he became an instructor and then a volunteer for us. And 2 weeks ago, he got married to another one of our volunteers. So we provide outdoor trips and matchmaking.
Matchmaking. I'm like, that's amazing. So what's the message that you hope people take from this?
Yeah, I think right now in particular is a really hard and scary time to be trans or to be different in any way. And I think a message I want people to take is we're all just humans. Like, yes, I'm trans. I also happen to be a dad and a partner and a son and a boss. And
our
frankly,
uniqueness makes us special.
Yeah, absolutely. And I think if we empower people to be the best versions of themselves, the world is going to be better. You know, if people are happy and joyful, they can make positive change. And it doesn't hurt anybody, right? Me being myself, you being yourself, nobody's hurt. In fact, everybody benefits.
Yeah. Oh my gosh. Well, our friends at ConAgra Brands believe everybody deserves consistent access to nutritious food. When they heard about your efforts to build community through camping and cooking, they decided to provide you with $10,000 just to help out on all the, because that stuff gets expensive. All that gear, all that. So thank you for what you're doing.